How much Python do you need to know before learning Django? We're going to talk about that in this video. So I see a lot in different online platforms and communities. People ask, do I really need to know Python before learning Django? And my answer to that is yes, definitely. You need to learn Python before going ahead to learn Django. Because Django is a web framework built with Python. So it's like a Python framework. So before you can know anything that is going on around there in Django, you need to have a basic understanding of Python. So now that you know Python, you can go ahead and learn Django. But of course, Python is a very wild field, it's a very wild programming language. You can't know every single thing in it, but you only need to learn some things before you can go ahead to learn Django. So in this video, we're going to talk about those basic things that you really need to know before going into Django. So right here, I have a list of what I recommend you should know before going into Django. So let's talk about this one after the other. So these are the basic stuff. We have the variables. If you know Python already, you know what I'm talking about here, or if you know programming in general. So this right here are the basic stuff that are in any programming language. So the variables, you should know that in Python. You should know the data types. You should like the integers, the string, the booleans, and so on. You should know the conditional statements. Now, when we say conditional statement, we mean the if statement, the else statement, and then you should also know the for loops. So once you know all these four, you've learned, you should know what programming or Python is about. And then you should also know iterables. So iterables means something you can iterate on, like a list. So the best way to do iterations is through for loops. So it means looping through all the values in a particular list of elements. So if you know Python, you definitely understand what I'm talking about right here. So that's why knowing for loops linking with these iterables is very, very important. And then you also need to know dictionaries. So if you already know Django, if you're a Django developer, you know that whenever you're passing a variable from your Python file to your template file, you will need to use dictionaries. So if you know Django, you know what I'm talking about. So that is also very, very important. And then you need to know functions. So functions, not just only for learning Django, for anything. If you are learning Python and you want to go into AI and machine learning, you want to be a GUI application developer or any other thing, functions are very important, not only in Python, in almost all programming languages. So you definitely need to know these functions. And then the next thing you need to know is decorators. Now these decorators are not so important for you to know, but they will come in handy in solving some cases later when you are building projects with Django. But learning Django at the beginning, you really don't need to know these decorators, but knowing them will be an added advantage to you. And you also need to know classes, very important, because in Django, these classes are basically what we use to define our database. And without database, there's nothing like web development, because everything is around the database. So if you don't know classes, you won't know how to do the models, which is just like a database for Django. So knowing these classes is also very, very important in learning Django. Now you also need to just know the concept of object-oriented programming. It's still linked with classes. Classes is under object-oriented programming. So you just need to know the inheritance, the methods, all this right here, they're under OOP. So you need to have an understanding of what object-oriented programming is. So inheritance method still under that. And then the last and final thing I will recommend you learn is packages. So there's nothing really to learn about packages. It's just to know how to look for packages, how to install packages, and yeah, there's nothing too much to learn. So I can quickly put you through that right now. We can just open up a new terminal. Now let's say you want to include something in your Django project. For example, you, instead of using a normal database in your Django project, you want to use like Firebase or something like that. You need a Python library or a Python package called Pyrabase. So for you to use import that, so for you to install that into your computer and use it in Django, you need to know how to install packages. So it's very easy. You just type pip install, then right now you type the name of package. So this is just the basic command line you type, and for this example we're installing Pyrabase 4. So this is the name of the package, and then when we click enter, it's going to install that package for us. So that is how to basically go around with packages. It's very easy. And if you want to know the name of the package, you need to use what you need to use in your Django project. So as you can see right here, it says requirement already satisfied. This is because I already have that particular package installed on my computer. But now if you want to look for a package, you want to know which package to use, like how did I know that I need that particular package for that particular situation? So it's very easy. Just Google search it, go on Google and search. That is how I know, that's how a developer know. So I hope you understood and had a grasp of what we talked about in this video. So knowing all this, if you learned all this, the list of all these topics in Python, then I would say you are good to go with learning Django. So thank you so much for watching video. That'll be all for today. So having all this said, I'll see you in the next one.